What's happening with all my people out there, man? Welcome back to this roundtable. Welcome back to the Swang Glow Podcast Show. It is yours truly, Do Rock Cream. It is an absolute pleasure to be back here with my roundtable family. Thank you all, man, that chose to tap in. I told y'all, we was gonna start doing more videos and releasing them. You know what I'm saying? Until we are actually able to do it live, and I'm back in the studio with my beautiful girl. Golden, shout out to Golden, love, miss you as always. You know what I'm saying? And like, comment, and subscribe to the Swang Glow Podcast Show. Do Rod Creep if you haven't already did it. Let me go ahead and get that out the way right now. We can't forget that because the subscribers is definitely important. Shout out to those of y'all that has subscribed to the show. You know what I'm saying? As well as the likes and comments. Man, give me feedback on whatever it is that I put out there into the atmosphere. I definitely would appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all opinions and all that definitely matter. You know what I'm saying? And let me go back and say this real quick. I did a story about the ICE raids, and during that video, I kept on, for whatever reason, saying ISIS. It's not ISIS, it's ICE. Okay? So, excuse me for, creating that blunder. You know what I mean? But moving forward, we got another thing that's in the headlines right now that's pretty big, man. You had a guy and his wife on Facebook Live. I guess they was internet personalities, on Facebook. They went live quite often. Had a very familiar following on there, right? Well, in this particular instance, you had these two, husband and wife, going back and forth at each other, man. Now, let me say this. If you are in a toxic relationship to the point where y'all are on each other and y'all cheating on each other, you feel me? And y'all are giving each other STDs, you don't need to be with that person. You feel me? You don't need to be with anybody, man, that's going to disrupt your spirit, that's going to disrupt your peace. You know what I'm saying? Anything that disrupts your peace and your spirit needs not to be around you. Point blank, period. I want to make that clear. Husband and wife or not, it don't matter. And it ain't even got to be in a relationship, friendship, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. You don't need to be dealing with that. Okay. Now, in this particular instance, the guy name was Shamarcus Jameer Carr, and his wife, the deceased now, name is Zaria Khadijah Carr. They was from Georgia, right? Now, apparently, some things had taken place with Shamarcus. I guess he had caught some cases and went to prison or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Did his time, got out. And in the course of him doing his time, his wife, Zaria, continued to live her life, meaning she wasn't loyal to him. She had multiple relationships, right? Now, during this live, when this incident took place, they was going back and forth about these different issues. You know what I'm saying? As far as her cheating, as far as him cheating, as far as her giving him sexually transmitted diseases and all that, right? Y'all can go find the video. You know what I'm saying? I suggest you go look at the video if y'all are not familiar with what I'm talking about right now, right? But they go into great detail on the sexually transmitted diseases and the different cheating and all this and that, right? Now, let me explain something about this video. The video starts off with Shamarcus in the kitchen cooking. I guess this is something that he did quite often. You know what I'm saying? He's in there by himself in the kitchen cooking, minding his business peacefully. There was no arguments or none of that because she wasn't in there at that time when the video first started, right? So he starts off humble. And then after a few minutes go by, you hear the doorbell ring. He go answer the door and it's his wife. And off the top, Now, let me say this to the ladies, man. No disrespect to any of y'all, but let me say this. Because I've been in relationships where, you know, you have a woman that want to express herself to the point of screaming. And if you already have a voice that's I'm gonna say irritating, you know what I'm saying? And then you add that with the screaming too on top of that, right? It's not gonna make the situation better in an argument. All right. So from the jump, from the top time he opened up that door, she was right. So he calmly walking back in the kitchen, she following behind him with the rah-rah, right? So he's trying to do his live and his cooking and all this and that. And she just kept going. And that's when the argument, he started entertaining the stuff that she was behind him saying, right? He started entertaining it. And then that's when everything started coming out about the cheating between the two, the STDs and all this and that, right? They going back and forth. And then finally, you know, in the midst of them arguing, she threatened to expose something about him, right? In regards to one of his homies, or you know what I'm saying? Now look, I think the guy name was Odie or Adi or something like that. The person that he is supposed to had, you know, some type of secret thing going on. Now, it's been whispers saying that Shamarcus was in a gay relationship. I don't know if the gay relationship started in prison or if he met this person, if this person was somebody that he knew already before prison or whatever. I'm not sure of that, but it's definitely been whispers that she was going to expose his gay secret relationship with this person. And I've heard, I don't know how true any of this is. This is pure speculation because it never came out. She ended up getting unalived before she was able to speak on it, right? But this is what has been put out, you know what I'm saying? That he was having a gay relationship with this person and he ended up unaliving that person for whatever reason, right? So, anyway, she was getting ready to expose whatever that secret was that he did not want to come out. And he told her as soon as she mentioned that, this is after all the back and forth. You know what I'm saying? This was the very last thing that she said. She brought him up, that brought that situation up, and Shamarcus told her, and that's where you're gonna die at. You speak on that. And she was like, I'm gonna die behind saying that, speaking on that, and blah blah. And bam, it was over with. He unalived her right then and there, right? And then after he unalived her, he take her car. I guess somebody. Oh, as a matter of fact, she was on live, and she had one of her homegirls on the phone with her. And this is another thing. Her homegirl is egging her on. You can hear this. If y'all go watch that video, you hear all this. The homegirl is on the phone egging her on. You know what I'm saying? And not making the situation better at all. So imagine this. You got your wife with that loud, screechy voice walking the door and just rah, 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 off the top. Then you got your little dog in the background too. You hear all this going on. The dog is barking. You know what I'm saying? Then you got the homegirl on the phone putting her 2 cents in. You hear all this stuff going on at one time. You know what I'm saying? Now, I think that'll drive anybody crazy. Now, listen, don't get me wrong, y'all. I'm not co-signing anything that dude, excuse me, that dude did as far as unaliving his wife. I'm not saying that he did the right thing, not at all. All I'm saying is, you know, when you're already in a heated argument and you're in the heat of the moment and all this stuff is going on, her loud voice, the dog, and the homegirl, and then on top of that, you're talking about some stuff that don't sit well with me. You know what I'm saying? As far as the cheating stuff go, right? So all this is going on, and I guess, you know, the pressure finally bust that pipe to where he ended up doing what he did. In that video, you see him grab a knife, and he told her, like, if you keep on, you're not gonna make it out this house. And she like, oh, you grabbing the knife, you gonna do this and like, hey, the video is cold, bro. You feel me? I wish I can show it to y'all. You know what I'm saying? But for whatever reason, when I show videos on my channel, I get, you know, strikes. You know what I'm saying? So hey, I'm gonna leave that one alone, man. But yeah, but I brought this situation about this couple for a reason, because it started on Facebook Live, right? I brought this. I found it to be very interesting because of how it all played out. But you know, I found myself in a situation. You know what I'm saying? Being in a relationship and having disagreements with people online. You know what I'm saying? And certain things playing out online, which is why I try to keep as much as my private life, as far as my relationship and all that go, to a minimum. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of stuff, especially personal private stuff, is not for the internet. You know what I'm saying? We got to figure out a way to resolve whatever issues that we got going on in private. Nothing should be played out in public. It's not for, I'm not in a relationship with the public, in a personal relationship. So, if I was, then everything would be out there and I would be with multiple, I would be with the universe. But that ain't the case. If I am in a marriage or in a relationship, then that's offline. You know what I'm saying? Nothing should be played out on the internet. But in this dating age, you got people that live by it, that live by the internet. They put everything, their daily movements and everything on social media. You know what I'm saying? And seeing this couple take they issues to social media is just wild. You know what I'm saying? As soon as she came through the door with the rah-rah and that conversation started going the way that it did, he should have cut that live off and handled that in private. Unfortunately, it played out, on live, and it was a whole bunch of people watching it from what I heard. You know what I'm saying? And I've learned, you know what I'm saying, from experience to not engage, really not just in a personal relationship, but anybody online, because what good is to come from it? You're doing nothing but entertaining the nosy motherfuckers that would never like anything that you post. They would never support any business that you got going on, none of that. But they definitely gonna sit back and watch for the entertainment, for drama, for bullshit. They definitely gonna tune in for that. And all eyes is always gonna be open for that type of stuff. Remember in the past how I told y'all about the car wreck, how people love to slow down and look at the car wreck rather than jump out and help the people that's been in the car wreck? They ain't finna do none of that. Ain't nobody finna help you in a situation. They want to sit back and they want to watch and see the mangled bodies and the gore and blood, and you know what I'm saying? They want to see all this so they can run and have something to talk about in their boring, miserable life. So I'm not going to be people's entertainment. That's why I feel the way that I feel so strongly about engaging people on social media, especially in a personal relationship or marriage. You know what I'm saying? I've ended friendships behind people trying to play me like that. You know what I'm saying? I've ended relationships and friendships behind that type of shit because I feel that strong about it. Like if we have an issue, we gonna take care of that issue offline. It has nothing to do with the public because I'm not in a public relationship. If me and you are together, you know what I'm saying? And on top of that, like we can't keep losing our cool. You know what I'm saying? Especially in these relationships, man. If the relationship is that toxic to the point where this person cheating on this person, that person cheating on that person, this person giving you a STD or whatnot, y'all don't need to be together. I had to figure that out. Like for my own self. You know what I'm saying? The toxicness, that I might bring to a relationship and my significant other might bring to it. You know what I'm saying? But see, the difference between me and them people is I don't have a problem with walking away from that, especially if I see like we not resolving whatever issues is there. The only thing that's gonna happen is I'm gonna get irritated. You know what I'm saying? From feeling played and disrespected. You feel me? So just imagine like you in the heat of the moment in a situation like this dude Shamarcus and Zariah was, with all that going on, her loud screaming. Go look at that video of them. Man, watch it from the beginning to the end, man, and you're gonna see what I mean. And look in the comment sections on those videos, and they're gonna say exactly the same thing that I'm saying as far as her, you know, how it started off, him minding his business in the kitchen cooking, and she come through the door off the top and just rah 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 rah. So you got that. You got the homegirl on the phone egging her on, and you got that little barking ass dog in the background, non-stop barking. You got all this, and on top of that, the conversation is toxic within itself. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't making no excuses for why that dude did what he did to his wife. Not at all. But what I am saying is, in the heat of the moment, you know what I'm saying? With all that going on, anybody can lose their cool. Not to that point. No, not to that point. Not to the point where you unaliving somebody. See, I look at it like this. If I am in a relationship and that relationship is not good and I am aware enough to see that, I'm not going to put my hands on you. I'm not going to touch you, harm you, none of that. I'm going to walk away and not look back. I owe that to myself. I owe that to that person. Especially if you're a wife or a girlfriend or whatnot, I'm not going to continue to entertain the BS and allow it to get me outside my body to the point where I'm doing something harmful to you or you doing something harmful to me. You feel me? Before it get to that point, man, y'all need to leave those toxic bullshit relationships. Leave. Stop being afraid to be alone. Stop being willing to accept anything. I'm not accepting anything, and I will never be alone. You feel me? I'm not accepting anything. And I suggest nobody go for just anything and getting treated any kind of way. You know what I'm saying? If a person's showing you that they have zero respect for you and that relationship that y'all supposed to be in, you know what I'm saying? Where y'all can't sit down as husband and wife or boyfriend and girlfriend, you know what I'm saying, and iron out whatever issues it is, you know what I mean? Then why continue to feed into the BS that's toxic? That's toxic. You're staying to be messy and to keep the drama going. You know what I'm saying? And some people was into that. Some people was just into that. They will argue, argue, argue all day, nonstop, and then hit the bedroom and it's great. Next day, wake up and start the same cycle, argue all day. I know people that's like that. Me, nah, I can't tolerate that, man. I like for my spirit to be at peace, so I can bring peace up on each and everybody. That's what I require from people, right? So if I acquire that, I got to bring that, right? Point blank, period. They say we are what we eat. The same applies to what you put into the universe, who you choose to be with, what you choose to go for. Point blank, period. So before I allow myself to get outside my body and find myself in a situation like Shamarcus and Zariah, you know what I'm saying? I'm finna leave. I'm not even finna let it get to nowhere near that point. You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, my mind ain't on unaliving you over an argument if you're my significant other. You know what I'm saying? My mind is, well, you know what? I see we not gonna be able to resolve this. This is going nowhere. We're arguing constantly over the same thing. Ain't no peace being brought to my spirit. Obviously, ain't none being brought to yours. So we finna break ways. I'm finna go somewhere else and start anew. I suggest you do the same thing rather than stay in that relationship and continue to bump heads and the horrible thing happened like it did with Shabarkis and Zariah, where he ended up unaliving his wife and then unaliving himself, all over in an argument on live that played out all on live. An argument where she threatened to expose whatever he did not want to come out. And that was the end for both of them. And they had a baby together. The child lost both parents in one day. So imagine having to grow up hearing about that. Your father unaliving your mother and then unaliving himself over whatever secret that she had on him. All over an argument, all over a relationship that wasn't meant to be, that should have been ended before it got to that point. You feel me? So yeah, y'all got to know when to say when, man. Know when to pull the plug. Because if it's not good for you, you gonna know it's not good for you. We all gonna know that when something ain't good for us. Just like when you eat something that mess your stomach up, you know what messed your stomach up, and now you know what to stay away from so your stomach won't get messed up again. It's the same thing with our love and affection and attention. Point blank period, man. So yeah, I just wanted to jump out there and give my little 3 cents on this situation because it's a big story. You know what I'm saying? It's viral. A lot of people covering it right now. You know what I'm saying? So why not add my little 3 cents in on it? You know what I'm saying? Plus, I like to give back to my people, man, some real game from my own experiences because I ain't lived the perfect life. I ain't always had the perfect relationships, but I got the perfect relationship right now. Shout out to my girl Golden again. You know what I'm saying? But hey, everything has to start with love so it can end with love. You know what I'm saying? If it start off rocky and shaky, hey man, be aware of that, man, and know when to call it quits. Point blank period. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my roundtable family again, man. I appreciate you all for tapping in. You know what I'm saying? Showing up. You know what I mean? Like always, you know, the love is always gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? Here at Swang Glow, man, that's what we about. Family oriented. You know what I'm saying? We love, appreciate, and support each other here. You know what I'm saying? So thank you all, man, for joining today's session. You know what I'm saying? We're going to continue to try to get these videos out to y'all, man, until me and my girl Golden is able to put a live together for y'all, hopefully sometime soon. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot going on right now behind the scenes and shit. I mean, excuse me for using that bad word. There's a lot going on behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? So we're just trying to iron out a few things. You know what I mean? But in the meantime, hey man, we ain't forgot about y'all, man. This story, me and Golden, she really wanted to speak on this story. She has very, very strong opinions about this situation, this particular story, along with a few others. She the one that brought this story to me. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Golden again. You know what I'm saying? Great contributor. You know, the queen of Swanglow. You know what I'm saying? This really is her story, and I'm just issuing out my opinion. You know, we might end up covering it again with me and her. You know, is able to hit the studio. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. Hey, I appreciate you all for tapping in. You know what I'm saying? I hope y'all all are being a blessing to the people out there that you care about and love the most. You know what I'm saying? Y'all continue to be safe, stay hydrated. It's hot. You know what I'm saying? Try to find a good AC to sit up under, man. Stay up out that heat. You know what I'm saying? Y'all continue to love each other and appreciate each other, man. Let them know because you never know who we gonna wake up and not have with us. You know what I'm saying? On that No, I'm finna get up out of here, let y'all get back to the rest of y'all day, night, whenever it is y'all choose to check this video out. Till the next time we meet at this round table, I love all y'all, man. Y'all stay safe. Nothing but love here. Triple gang.